What's up, guys? It's your boy CrazyMaze98, aka Nicholas Morales, founder of the Brothers of Oblivion game community, and welcome back to some Overwatch. But today I'm actually going to do this video to give you guys a slight tutorial of some of the characters for those who are brand new to the Overwatch, gaming area. So definitely let's get started. So we're going to start with the first hero named Genji. Ooh. Nice. I love this play so much. So as you can see, Genji is actually a DPS type character. He's very mobile in the process that he is a pretty fast character, and also the fact that he could climb walls and also double jump. So with that, let's go ahead and get started with the basics. So he has his basic attacks where he throws a series of shurikens with the regular L2 button or whatever button you're using to have the primary shooting. And for the secondary, he throws them in like a sort of a row all together. So right there you got the regular primary shooting, and right here the three-way shot. Now with Genji is also another particular move, especially with the R1. We have a dash. Excuse me, wrong one. We have a dash that goes ahead and does damage and also gives you somewhat of a speed advantage. So let's say if somebody's in front of you and need to get away, you hit the L1 button and then there you go. You've gotten away and then you have somewhat of an advantage. Now another thing that Genji has that I just sort of showed at this moment is literally a deflect button. Now watch this. In the process with that deflect, it goes ahead and deflects bullets back to the whole entire team, or even possibly the person who is causing the damage. So if you will have a machine gun, a pistol, a sniper, let's say like an arrow, you can have Genji definitely deflect it. Now we have his ult right here, which is actually called the Dragon Blade. So let's go ahead and give that up. Now what you can do is a selection of 7 slashes. With that you can also do your dash and your deflect, and it lasts for a certain amount of times, but the largest amount of slashes that you could get in would be around 7 slashes. So that's really good. So in the process of that, he can deflect multiple projectiles such as Hanzo's arrow, Widow's bullets. He could deflect Soldier, McCree, Diva, Reaper, all deflect. And he even has the capability of deflecting special abilities such as Zarya's actual gravity pull, or even the possibility of Hanzo's dragon shot, which is the double dragon arrow, or even the possibility of McCree's high noon. So that's really it for Genji. The best thing with Genji is that he's a double jumper. So what you would want to learn is how to actually double jump with him and actually main mobile, especially also main in the air while jumping. Alright, so let's get to the next character. The next character will be McCree himself. McCree is a DPS character, but he's also maintained as a flank character. Reason being McCree is a flank character is because he has an extremely weird kit, but you would have to get used to him pretty good. So for instance, he can be able to even snipe out from a long distance.
No payment required. This one's on the house.
Like for instance, right here, like, ooh, he just took out the robot. Like right here. Or you can shoot from distance from right here. And he could be able to snipe if you're very good with your aiming. Now with his kit, he has for his secondary shooting, he has a whole, I believe, a ricochet shot. Is that what it's gonna call? The ricochet? Is that what it's called? Oh, well, it's called the wildfire, I believe. I'm gonna call it the wildfire. And you release the whole clip within the character. Now in order to maintain stability, you would have to hold back in your camera and then maintain the ricochet, because if you don't, it's gonna go straight up in the air. So if you maintain it while holding back, it stays in one area. Now with that, McCree has a dodge roll, which you could roll to the sides, roll forward, roll backwards, but it does have I believe an 8-second cooldown. or yes, a 8-second cooldown, and with that you can, you know, dodge certain attacks. Another thing that he also seems to have is a stun, which can stun any type of character if he gets behind them. So right there, and then what you want to do is do the ricochet shot to take him out. So make sure you have also the ricochet shot, which that one was pretty bad, at the head, especially for tanks or for other people. And you know, that's one part of what he plays. Next thing he has, which is the final thing I want to show you, is his ultimate, which is actually the high noon.
It's high noon.
Now what you want to do with that area is just that you're aimed at each opponent, which has a circle on their character. With that, when the circle loads up into a single dot for the character, you want to release the shot. And then there you go, you got yourself an actual one-shot kill, which is actually pretty badass. Now with McCree is not really one to go actually, you know, face up unless you're very like you know, die hard on it, or you're very hardcore. Like for instance, you could go spin up, boom, there you go, and that's how you can like get rid of a person close up. But one thing you want to do is literally just go up to someone from behind, so he's better as a flank character. So as you can see, there's a character right there, right? He's looking at me, I can't see him, but let's say I'm right behind him, right? Hit him with a confusion, there you go, from behind. So it would be better to use him as a flank character, but you know, it's really hardcore if you want to go straight forward. Alright, let's go with the next character, which is our Pharah. So right here, Pharah is actually a rocket launcher shooter with 6 rounds. As you can see, it does massive damage. There you go, nice reload time. The cool thing about her is that when you hold the jump button, she's able to actually glide up in the air and actually boost up. Another thing that she could do is actually boost up in the air with a quick toss, which is her L1, which is technically how would I say this, like somewhat like a boost jump right there, the L1, and then you hold the jump button to maintain in the air, but in the process you're going down. Now you want to be able to stay in the air with her, because that's where she has to be at, you know, especially with trying to do damage with most other people, and you know, at least try to take out the team within holes. Now another thing that I want to point out about Pharah is that she has this specific weapon right here, which you shoot R1, which is something you want to use especially for crowded teams, especially if you are facing against a Reinhardt or Risa, or even, you know, a Bastion, and trying to literally have the whole entire team stay together. You shoot this little concussion rocket, and then there you go, you could go ahead and separate them and take them out separately. Now here's a cool thing about her ultimate. Her ultimate is a multi-shot thing, and it could be shot in a large area. So let's go ahead and start it up. So technically it's called the rocket barrage, so look at it. If you shoot in a specific area, especially if someone is on a point, because the main points are either escort a payload, then capture, and then like, you know, get it to a certain point, or capture the points, you could use that to give an advantage on, you know, most of the team, because of the fact that, you know, you're taking out and causing damage to everybody in that area. The downside to it is that characters like Genji or Reinhardt can be able to block it if they are aimed right at when the rocket barrage goes off. But that's really a Pharah. The main thing that I would recommend as a hint is to maintain in the air and shoot down. That will go ahead and help out the team a little bit more, especially when you're trying to take out a Torbjorn, or even try to take them out from the air. Next character is actually my main character, one I main in DPS, which is Reaper. Now Reaper is a person that you could go up with, but the problem is it is very dangerous to do so. The reason why it's very dangerous is that he could be one that could actually, you know, hurt quick and taken out quick. He is known as one of the tank shredders, so literally you would want to go after a tank with a Reaper. So best thing to do with a Reaper is an assassin type move and flank from behind. Now with Reaper, he has dual shotguns, dual sawed-offs I believe, and for each weapon it's 8 shots. Now what he does is just throw the guns and then he just grabs new ones. Now here's one thing that is cool about Reaper: when you shoot and you reload and then you hit melee, you reload faster. So that is one hit that you could do. Now another thing that you can do is with Reaper is you could phase through, which is L1 or whatever command that is for PC or Xbox, which helps you be, you know, invulnerable to, you know, different weapons or different types of moves or different types of projectiles for a certain amount of time. Now let's say you want to go ahead and flank from behind and you can't find a way to get through, and you know a way to get by through a top. Reaper does have a teleport where you could teleport to certain areas.
Repositioning.
And then right behind, let's say he wants to go ahead and flank somebody from the side or from behind, you can just jump down and just start shooting the hell out of them. Now let's see right here, I'll show you how it works. As you can see, now with that, with killing each character, the character drops down their soul, which is like this type of orb, which helps Reaper even replenish his health. So he is pretty cool with, you know, healing. So you want to maintain trying to get more, you know, kills with him. Now here is his ultimate ability, which is the Death Blossom, which is pretty cool. He jumps into the middle of, I would recommend a middle of 5 people that don't see you. If you jump from behind him, press triangle. He starts shooting all around and starts dealing massive damage. Could possibly take out a tank from behind. Could possibly go ahead and take out most of the DPS, even the support, and that will help out a lot. So that's our Reaper in, you know, in a little nutshell. Pretty easy character to maintain. But once again, for a hint for a character like Reaper, if you want to be able to reload faster, press the reload button and then the melee at the same time, and then you reload your weapons quicker while actually doing a melee damage. So let's go on to the next character. So we have Soldier 76. We have Soldier 76 being the regular, you know, assault rifle type character. You hold R2 and then you do a certain amount of damage. Now, for Soldier, you have the standard L1, you know, sprint button. But when you stop sprinting, you can, you know, be able to go back and forth. If you hold the L button, he will be sprinting for a lot of time until you stop moving. And he does a standard amount of damage. You might want to do him long range or even a frontline type character. Now, for a character like him, he is also somewhat of a support, but he is mostly DPS. He does maintain a support type of move, which is his healing. This healing has a large amount of area that could just heal you, but not just yourself, also your teammates. So if you have someone dying, then you could be able to heal yourself and within your teammates. Now, in the process of just shooting, you could go ahead and shoot L2 or whatever the secondary button is for the other systems to shoot a melee of 3 rockets. Those 3 rockets come down altogether, targeting any type of enemy that you have base for you. So the next thing you would want to go ahead and do is just literally maintain a certain area. Like if you're dying for Soldier, definitely press R1 to put down area and try to keep in a corner area. But most of the time people move around and start shooting the Soldier. But if you have the capability of healing your friends, definitely go ahead and put down that healing area, and there you go. Now, for his ultimate, it is technically an aimbot, so when you press triangle, he's able to do a lot of damage to people, and he can go ahead and auto aim towards the enemies themselves. So that's technically Soldier in somewhat of a, you know, a standard build. You know, he has the regular standard Call of Duty look, or like, you know, any type of, I would say like Unreal Tournament or Halo, you know, type of character. Next one is another character I typically enjoy is Sombra. A lot of people hate Sombra. I don't understand why. She is a machine gun user, a submachine gun user, which she does a decent amount of damage. But let's go ahead and look at her kit. Now, as a character, Sombra can be able to do things such as hack a character. Now, when you see something like that, especially around a character, you could be able to disable their kit. So, for instance, if you're behind a Reinhardt, and Reinhardt has a shield, you can go ahead and hack him to a point where he is not able to use a shield for a certain amount of time. So, that is one way that she's capable of being useful. She is also a character that can maintain by doing a flank. So like for instance, let's go ahead and use her ability to phase through, turn invisible, and basically sprint in a certain area. And you could just pop up right in front of someone and start doing damage. Now, if you are in that area, that invisible phase through mode, and you get hit, it will automatically cancel out. So if you get hit, then you are seen. You are to not try to be seen. So you would want to try to go around people and not go face up with that invisible move. Next thing is technically, how would you call it, her translocator. So yeah, I had to look at that because like I'm like looking at it like, what is it? It's technically a teleport. So for instance, let's say I am playing it right here, R1. And let's say I move around to a certain area. I can hit R1 again. I could just go ahead and teleport back. Now, if you see the translocator on my aiming reticle, it does have a certain amount of time. So if it goes off, like past that time limit, then you will not be able to use it anymore. Now, here's her ultimate, which I find very enjoyable. Especially, you know, for like different characters. If you go behind someone and then you press triangle, then you could technically disable everybody in the opposite team's kit for use for a certain amount of seconds. So with that will like stop Reinhardt's shield, that will stop Zarya's shield, that will stop Orisa's ability to you know, to get out of confusion. It will stop Soldier's healing ability and his sprinting. It will stop a lot of people's kits. Now, as a Sombra, what you want to do is maintain your health. So what you can do besides hacking into the characters themselves, you can also hack in to the healing areas where you can spawn many health packs. So for instance, if I take damage and I take a health pack, the health pack will reload faster, and I would be the only one to even be able to accept the health pack until it goes away. But that's Sombra in like somewhat of a nutshell. The best thing to do is literally just hack from behind, especially for a Reinhardt. It's able to disable an Orisa. The biggest thing that she can do is literally take out a Bastion, which a Bastion could be somewhat of an issue, especially on having, you know, a Bastion on the opposite team and you're attacking and they're defending. So we're gonna go to another character, the last DPS, which is gonna be Tracer, which is literally the poster girl for the game. So as you can see, Tracer has two actual, you know, little submachine guns, or like I would say pistols or somewhat. Now with Tracer, she actually has two or three dashes, which each have their own specific cooldown, which sometimes can make her one of the most annoying characters, because technically what she can do is literally shoot somebody from the side. She could dash right here and then shoot them from behind, or like literally troll and try shooting on the side, something like that. Now, within the midst of doing all 3 of those dashes, let's say I'm about to do them 1, 2, 3, and then I press R1, that's her rewind. Within that, I rewind back to the first dash that I started. 1, 2, 3, and then, ooh, sorry, let me do that again. Just because I was really late on the cooldown. As you can tell, I'm mostly a soldier and a Reaper main. So 1, 2, 3, then go back 1, 2, 3. There you go. Now, the cool thing about Tracer is that she's just technically the character that is mobile most of the time. You want to maintain doing that. Within doing her rewind, let's say you do some damage here. Let's say you take some damage. Excuse me. Okay, shoot me. Let's say you take some damage. You hit the rewind. You could go ahead and get that damage that you've taken back. So technically, if you start off at 150, got hurt till around 90% of health, and you hit the rewind, you can go straight back to the 150. Now, let's go to her ultimate, which is technically a sticky bomb. And right there, it will actually take out a character straight forward. The downside to it is that she could be hurt with her own sticky bomb. And apparently, she could also hurt her other teammates. So, if you see people around that area, you know, especially trying to defend, and they're in one small area, what you can do is hit them with the sticky bomb, and then it will damage all the people in that area, sometimes taking a certain amount of health, or if not, probably killing most of the other characters. So L2 could be used, or the secondary could be used to dash, or the R1 could be used to dash. Now watch what happens. There you go. And then I rewind right back. The rewind, like, that's what usually her kit is. Now let's go on to the next character, which is Bastion himself, which is a robot. He does maintain a machine gun. He does do a considerable amount of damage. So with his kit, you hold L2 and you could be able to heal yourself. So you take damage, and then you can be able to heal yourself with L2, and you can move while doing it. Now, for instance, if you want to go ahead and shoot from a certain amount of air, like a certain area or a certain height, let's say you want to kill these two. Switch into a turret, and Bastion turns into a turret with a minigun, doing a lot of damage. In the process, you can heal yourself as the minigun as well. Now that's really just basically it. What you want to do is try to get as many kills with him. He's really a character that you barely do a lot of, close-up damage with. What you want is to get a certain area and turn into a turret where you can actually do a lot of damage to specific characters. Now, he can be, actually, countered by a Genji, because a Genji can deflect all its shots. Pharah can take him out from the air, and even a Sombra can hack him so he doesn't shoot no more or even heal himself anymore. But let's go to his ultimate, where he turns into a tank and he becomes an actual DPS, where he does a lot of damage to each type of character, and he has it out for a certain amount of time. But that was Bastion in somewhat of a nutshell. Let's go to the next character, which is Hanzo. We got Hanzo right here, probably one of the most hated characters in Overwatch, especially if you're playing on attack. I don't know why. A lot of people have played attack with a Hanzo and have done extremely well. Now with Hanzo, he is a sniper character, so you would want to get as much headshots as possible, but you could maintain getting some shots with a certain character. That was pretty bad in my part, and you could do more damage right here. Now what he has is pretty cool abilities. He has a little tracker arrow where you shoot it and you can see where the enemies are at, even behind a wall. Now with doing all this damage to a Hanzo, you would think that he would do a lot of damage to certain characters. But let's go to his scatter shot. As you can see right there, we have 2 robots here. We can't take them both out at one point. So let's use the scatter shot to do a lot of damage, which I miss horribly, but as you can see, the scatter shot goes around the area and bouncing off the walls. Now, with him as his mobile kit, he can also climb walls just like Genji can. But with him as a character, he's actually a pretty slow character. So if you want to maintain a Hanzo, it will be good to maintain him from the top or from, you know, a big area. So let's go ahead and try to fix that out. Now for his ultimate is actually a pretty good ultimate, which can be countered if you're actually very good with the character to counter him for. So let's go ahead and use it, which is the triangle, which is the what is it called? It is called the Dragon Strike, which is just like, you know, Genji's, because they are actually, you know, brothers. So they do have a lineage where Hanzo has the blue dragon, Genji has the green dragon. But this is his ultimate, where he summons 2 dragons, and in this area, and whoever is caught within the area of the dragon is damaged. So, you know, that's really Hanzo in somewhat of a nutshell. Me, I am not that good with a Hanzo per se. I do not really use Hanzo that well, but for those who are really good with Hanzo, you know, definitely, you know, like, applause to you, because Hanzo is a character that takes a lot of patience. Now we got ourselves our Junkrat. Our Junkrat is another character that uses things such as, you know, a grenade launcher. He uses things such as a sticky bomb, which is the L1, and then you press L2 to press the button to set it, you know, set it off. Now, what you can do is technically lay the trap, jump over it, and then be tossed to the side. Now, or even jump in the air. Now, with this, he literally has a trap that could stop someone in place, and that you could literally be a target for anybody. But with Junkrat is actually a pretty good kit to do that. Now, as I said, like for instance, if I'm a little bit closer and I could jump farther, there you go. Now for his ultimate, what he does is let out a giant wheel, which is called the Rip Tire. Now when you press triangle, it's a remote control tire, and then you could detonate at any time. And you can actually literally one-shot kill people. Now with Junkrat, he could be able to literally just like aim in certain areas, and then the grenades can bounce off and hit whoever. What the thing is, it's like playing hot potato. He could literally shoot it at the wall, and then when it hits the floor, it will detonate. So that's really Junkrat in a nutshell as well. Next character will be Mei, one of the most favorited characters. Now with Mei as a character, she's actually pretty cool. What she does is freeze her opponents in place, and then in the process she can make them an easy target, or she can literally just cause much damage with it. Now with L2, what she could do is shoot a shard that actually can penetrate type of armors or type of shields. So what you want to do with Mei is literally freeze them up, headshot with the shard. So that will literally give a nice, you know, one-hit kill. Cool thing about Mei is that with her ability, she can literally turn into an icicle, or as you can see, an ice snowman, and heal. So she can heal herself. Now with that, is actually pretty annoying, because you can not actually stop her. She is very invulnerable to any type of attacks at the moment. But while in the actual icicle, you can actually get caught within Junkrat's trap. So there's a capability of that. Now right here, let's say there is a person trying to get in my way. Let's say somebody's trying to come after me and try to kill me, or there is the payload, or the whole team is coming down this ramp. What I can do is hit R1 and then build up a wall of ice for a certain amount of time and wait for my team to come by, or literally just like try to find a place where I can get away. Now, if you're very good with a Mei, you can maintain the shots from a long distance with the Ice Shard, which could be very, very, very destructive. Now, for our ult, it's a big area affected ultimate. So what you can do is literally toss it and freeze everybody in place, hence doing damage and freeze. And the game just lasted too long. Let's go back into that. Well, as you can see, that's how we were doing Mei, but you know, we got kind of cut off. So next character, and the last two characters for this part would be, you know, once again Torbjorn. We're gonna have a little Torbjorn, a guy who builds, you know, turns, and the more you build it, the faster it shoots. He can shoot regular shots, where this turn is actually auto lock, which it could do damage to multiple people. Now with Torbjorn, you can actually switch to a hammer, and you could do damage with a hammer. But you could also repair your own turn, which is actually pretty badass. Now with Torbjorn, when you kill characters, you collect scrap. And these make armor for you and your friends. And as you can see, there's a counter for the scrap right there. Now for his secondary shot, he can shoot technically like somewhat of a shotgun shot, which is actually pretty badass. So that's why I main a Torbjorn, and Torbjorn is actually pretty fun to play. Now for him, he has something for his ultimate called Molten Core, which actually, if you press triangle, brings your turn to level 3. It makes you to be able to shoot more, and makes you to be able to build faster. And even dispense shieldly faster. Now, especially for characters that are like in the air, like he could be somewhat of an annoyance. So you could take him out with a Genji, or you could take him out with a Widow, or even his actual counter, which is a Pharah. Now, here is for the last character, who is the last control character, which is another main of mine, which is Widowmaker. So she is a technical sniper, right here. As you can see, for her main attack when you're not aiming, she does have a actual machine gun, which does a standard amount of damage. She also has a grappling hook for where she can climb up to tall areas and actually snipe, which where you hold the secondary button, or L2 if you're on PlayStation, and then as you can see, there is 100% power, which does a lot of damage. As you can see, if I one shot everything regular, it's gonna be like a regular scout rifle, like a regular, you know, rapid shot rifle. Now, for instance, she has this little trap right here that if any character goes past it, then the character is poisoned, and she can deal damage with the poisoned character. And there you go, she can do damage to that character. Now, for instance, let me go ahead and get some shots in. You would really want to be able to really snipe with Widowmaker. She's just like the Hanzo. You want to maintain the headshots. Now for her ultimate, which is right here, is an infrared sensor, which shows you where all the enemies are at in the game. So that's really her in a nutshell. With her, she can be countered, she can be sniped out, especially if she does the actual 1% hit, or the 1% snipe. Then she could actually be, you know, killed with her own weapon if you deflect it very good with a Genji. So that's a good thing. A Pharah can take her out. A lot of characters can be able to take her out, especially when she's a sniper. That could be you know, actually shown based on the shot. As you can see, her shot leaves a line of smoke where it would show where she's at. But that is part 1. We already went through the actual DPSs and the control characters. We for the next video, we're gonna be doing characters that are tanks and also supports, and I'm gonna be showing you how to play them as well. But definitely subscribe to the BO Talk Show. Definitely turn your notifications when we get new streams and new videos set up. And definitely join us at facebook.com/group/Brothers of Oblivion and join our positive gaming community where we play games such as Overwatch, Battleborn, Battlefield 1, Call of Duty, and many other games. And definitely go ahead and follow me on Twitch, which is N Morales BOO, which is in the description, which is my actual Twitch channel where I stream Overwatch, Battleborn, and many other games. But this is your boy CrazyMace98, aka Nicholas Morales, founder of the Brothers of Oblivion game community. If you walk with us, we'll help you walk through the gates of Oblivion.